When I was teaching, we used to use two exercises to build trust and camaraderie among our students. The first was the blindfold test. One student would be blindfolded and guided through a maze of cones by his partner. It was fun, but it was also challenging because the blindfolded student had to depend completely on the voice of the other one guiding them at the other end of the maze. So they couldn't see or predict the course. They had to simply trust their partner. And the second exercise is one most of us know well, the classic trust fall test. You know, the one student stands behind another and the person in the front folds their arms, close their eyes, and fall backwards. And in that moment, they would have to trust their balance, their weight, and possibly their safety in the hands of somebody else. Thankfully, none of our students ever hit the floor. But the exercises always revealed how they felt about one another. Some would look back and make sure someone was really there. And some would ask, "You gonna catch me, right?" Some needed convincing because they weren't so sure how it would end up. And these exercises taught us a lot about trust. And I believe they help contribute to the success of building community in our classes. And as the Father dealt with me about this week's conversation, it caused me to think back to those sessions as I prepared for today's conversation. So let me ask you something real today. When was the last time you actually closed your eyes, folded your arms, and fell back into the arms of the Lord? No hesitation, no resisting, no bracing yourself, just falling and believing He would catch you. Most of us say we trust God, but we've never really fell back before. We say we trust Him, but we come up with backup plans in case He drops us. We say we trust Him, but deep down we fear He'll let us fall as some sort of punishment for something we did or because we come up short. Let's be honest. Many of us spend more time looking back to make sure He's really there than we do falling into His care. Trusting God sounds beautiful in theory, but it feels terrifying in practice. Because real trust requires us to believe the Father is there even when we can't see Him, even when we can't feel Him, or even predict what He'll do next. Trusting God means giving up control, as some of us aren't ready to hand over the wheel, even though the route we've been taking hasn't been beneficial. Saying I trust God is more than words. Life itself will test that theory and will paint us a true picture of whether we trust Him or not. And circumstances will expose whether we trust Him for everything or only for what feels safe. But there's good news, beloved. The Father in His grace gives us the opportunity to rewrite our story. If fully trusting God hasn't been your narrative, here's your opportunity to write a new one. Whether you know it or not, Scripture shows us clearly it displeases the Lord when we lack faith and don't trust Him. But it also speaks of how it delights Him when we make measures in making Him the center of our lives. And I want to spend today's conversation talking about what it truly means to trust God. With so many difficulties and concerns surrounding us, it is imperative that we learn to trust Him.